What's up, everybody? Good morning. What's up, Super Must See? What's up, Kimberly? What's up, Starlight? Good morning. It feels so full of life right now. Starlight, that's awesome. I'm feeling alright. Took a little nap earlier. Figured it was going to be clear tonight, and it certainly is. Lovely 33% waning crescent. The perfect view of one of the cooler phases. Great shot of Mare Humorum, Gassendi, Schickard, Kepler, Aristarchus, Copernicus right under the Terminator, Sinus Iridum up at the top. Just coming into shadow too, so that's going to be an amazing shot. Mare Frigoris at the very top. Still warm, but the humidity is not as crushing, at least not yet. Exactly, time for the groovy Moonimals edition. Action. Sucks. Kimberly says, man, I just heard about 9 shots fired off on street over. I hate my hood. Man, that must be really stressful. Kind of waiting for these. I mean, these are the phases that I always keep an eye out for. If I know the weather's going to be clear, I'll try and stay up for it. Yesterday's, today, and tomorrow. Anything after that, it becomes kind of risky to stay up because, like, at 4 or 5 in the morning, even if it says clear, you tend to have those kind of morning clouds coming up, and it's pretty tough to get a shot. We'll see tonight. I think I'm going to try and stay up and get another shot of M42. I took a couple more photos after last night's stream. It was so crazy good. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I think most of you did. I gotta say, yeah, no gunshots fired near here, thankfully. But definitely, yeah, it's one of those things. I could say stay safe, but we're always at risk of moving on from this density. I've been watching a ton of Eric P. Dollard tonight, and all about absconding with amazing experimentations and destroying laboratories of brilliant people, and all about. Actually, I heard a great story, which I don't think I'd ever heard before, which was that the idea of Frankenstein is actually, Dr. Frankenstein is actually kind of a riff off of Nikola Tesla, but further that Igor is a riff off of Steinmetz, Charles Proteus Steinmetz, and then Frankenstein's monster is today's technology. I thought that was such a great metaphor. It's not even a metaphor, it's actually the inspiration or analogy, but pretty insane what they did to Tesla and Eric Dollard and all the other early plasma electric scientists and engineers who tried to break open physics, and the powers that be absconded with all that data. And so we're left here with, so much work to be done. Oh, my Starlet, that's a pretty horrible story. Talk about some pretty graphic stuff. I shall not repeat, but I've seen stuff like that too. It's pretty awful. And then further, Eric P. Dollard was talking about the healing power of music and how it creates geometric shapes in the ether around us, and our bodies can absorb these musical shapes and geometries and react to them and feel them and see them in a way. Ultimately making me think of the fact that every human body, every creature is basically a resonant density that's vibrating in a certain way or in many different ways, organs working together to create the symphony of the body. So I like that idea. Oh, Relic, thanks for saying that, man. Yeah, it's been a tough thing to maintain this show. Recently I kind of got back into the groove by keeping the scopes set up all the time and getting some more gear so that I could keep them set up all the time. But yeah, it was tough. You weren't on the stream, but I did mention that I had surgery on my leg, on my hernia disc, and from scope work, of course. And then I got copyright stricken for one of the Lunar Wave videos, so I couldn't stream for 3 months. That was pretty depressing. And so I kind of gave it a bit of a break for that year, or not even year. I think it was like 6 months or so. I just did not have any desire to kind of be online. But all of that was experiential, and I wrote tons of music based on that, being offline. And then when I came back, everyone was so kind, and it was just like I'd never left. And so I've been trying to keep going as much as I can, just with the show, like I don't interact as much online anymore, but it's just so I can keep this show a solid chunk of hours, Typically I'll do like 2-3 hours now, but I mean, there's the prep around it, so I think it's a good time investment. It's a healthy relationship with YouTube, and sometimes I'll do the deep dives here and there. It's just funny to be, 5 years into it and still seeing the same sort of issues where we can't really, we have mainstream science continuing to obfuscate and to cover up these new advances in physics and science and cosmology, and cosmologists and scientists not being willing to move past ancient, antiquated ideas. And it could be a product of nefarious conspiracy, or it could just be, the way nature works. It just takes a while for things to change, and we're on one of these wave fronts experiencing it. Hey, thanks y'all. I appreciate all the kindness. I feel like we can all get connected under space, no matter what, as spirituals, as souls, as thinkers. It's one of these equalizers, I think. And even though we can talk about conspiracies and all this stuff, there is something so enchanting about connecting with the planets and the moon, especially talking about it and listening to music while we do it. And and being kind to one another. I say it on every show, but I think there's a lot of things would be solved with kindness and patience. with each other and with people that we feel like we want to judge. If we were just a little slower about that, I think things would overall improve. Alright, Triple P Faux Show. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Let's take a look at Mare Humorum, which is really prominent and kind of great looking tonight with a ton of relief towards the north. Gassendi crater on its rim, and then another Gassendi A on the rim of Gassendi. If you can see it, the kind of stacked crater ship. This, of course, cratering in the lab, electric discharge in the laboratory. Today I was watching a ton of those videos, and I added more to the playlists, but really you gotta check out Billy Elverton's channel, and I'll post that. Oh, before I do that, this is Eric P. Dollard talking about the musics, talking about music healing. Relic is saying planet Earth is for drama. This stream blasts you into our orbit with chill vibes and awesome music. Yeah, it feels like part of the universe is definitely addicted to devastation, and from devastation come these amazing experiences and so much beauty. And then once the universe sees all this beauty, it's right back to devastation. It's like, that can't be beautiful for too long. I might develop a connection with it, and so it destroys everything. And then from those ashes, we come again. Alright, so that's Eric Dollard talking about music. I'm just gonna, let's see, I wanna drop this other one. What's going on 24/7. So those are a couple of links. That's Eric Dollard talking about music, and the other one is Billy Elverton, Mr. Too Tough 2, who's been, off YouTube for a few years, but he's done the most compelling electric discharge lab experiments, all sorts of different types, vibrational plates, domes, anodes, cathodes, the works, developing different geological formations, stratification, very strong proof for electric discharge machining, having been the root cause of canyons, gullies, flat-top mountains, basalt columning, features on the moon, craters, Mars, etc. And down the list, a lot of correlation and crossover with Michael Steinbacker's work and Thunderbolt's project, of course. But I also found a couple of other electric discharge laboratory people today. I've added them. I'm going to put them in the description for tomorrow. But yeah, feeling all right. All right, let's do some zoomage. Alright, friends, I'm back. What's up, Duplicate? An electric morning to you, friend. Ran across some of your comments in my earlier deep dive this evening. I was looking up some of the older EU videos. I watched some of Mel Atchison stuff. I watched the Ev Cochran one. I found a couple of new electric discharge channels that I'm going to share with y'all. Two other people who, let's see, Dive Fly Fish. This is another channel. Raised dendritic ridges combined with electrical and physical displacement. And this is totally Thunderbolts inspired from like 2016. So, give me 1 second. Yeah, that's Dive Fly Fish, and let me find this other one real quick. I'll get back to our moonage just here at the north. Gonna start at the top near Sinus Iridum. Look at this crazy shot. This is the still focal reducer, and it's so crazy cool. Especially because the Terminator is moving in, and you're getting all the land folds in the regolith and the flattened regions kind of just crystallized in place. But still with sinuous qualities, like snaking qualities. Alright, and here's the other one. The other one is this other place, this channel called Delena's 07. But this is a great experiment. Electric discharge craters in dust, creating like a little field of craters, crater lights. This is what we see a lot on the moon and Mars. What's up, more Jello, please? Mo Jello, please. It says, my eyes are tired, been programming the scanner for hours. Nice. Kimberly says, zoomage with tunage, indeed. I'm just vibing out on these grooves for a sec. I don't know, let me know if y'all have any requests of my songs. I'm happy to play anything. Or if you want some happier tunes, I'm happy to play that too. Just decided to click in here on the Vibration Theater album. Relic says, wow, this looks awesome on my 4K TV. This is ridiculous. Hell yeah. It's freaking awesome. I'm so glad that it works, and also the bandwidth is not being hogged right now. I got all the ultra frequencies to ourselves. What's happening, Fantasy Ecstasy? Yeah, we're basically in full synchronization with lunar geometry right now. I mean, look at how angular the bottom of Sinus Iridum is. Actually, I feel like this is a little bit dark. Let me just put something more fresh. This is still dark. This is less dark. Isn't it? Yeah. All right, let me quickly throw up a label on sinus iridum, and then I will play Formidable Opponent after that. Crazy, I can't tell. Was I out of focus on sinus iridum? That was so out. Let's see. Unless I kicked the telescope. Whoa, so much to zoom in on. Yeah, look, it's out of focus now. That's a great thing to observe and to note, like how the top of the moon or the left side of the moon, if you're looking at it directly, is, I guess, I want to say further away? I can't really tell. If I pull to the right, I guess it's not as defocused as the southern portion, but man, that's crazy. Let's see what this is if I push it a little bit to the left. Alright, so that looks like it's in focus. Now let's go back down and see what's going on. Maybe I was just completely out of focus. That is definitely possible. It's 3 in the morning. What do you want from me? Yeah, look, it is defocused. I mean, it's out of focus here a little bit. So it's a tiny bit off. I was a bit more off, but whatever. Either way, that's sharp as hell. I want to say that's Schickard, but let me double check that. Schiller, not Schickard. Schickard is the larger one. But that's one of the really few extremely elongated craters that, yes, is being stretched because it's on a, you know, spherical moon, but also very noticeably stretched. And it also has one of these interesting, shush myself a little. So to the left, it has that kind of interesting, I don't want to say central peak, but like definitely something going on, like a line cut all the way on the left of it. I'm looking at this one, looking at you. So Schiller is 179 kilometers. That's the length of it, and then 11,000 feet on the rim. That's pretty crazy. Crazy big. There you go. I keep forgetting to just magnify the chat room. I swear doing the scope and reading the chat out of the left eye is just so straining. So now I have to like just bump up the size a couple of times. That's good. Alright, so Schiller crater, looking great. What else we got over here? Alright, so the very, very tip of this. Let's see if I can get a name for y'all. That's Newton. So Newton crater is the very, very first thing we see. And the other one just popping out of shadow, the two little chunks are, I want to say that is part of Blankenus, or is it Skinner? I think it might be Skinner crater. So most of it's in shadow, and then you can kind of see tips of the rim. So we're back at Schiller. To the right of Schiller has got Weigel, Bayer, Segner, Zucchius, and then underneath Schiller there's this kind of flatland region, and then Nagarath. Nagarath is a cool name. Facilities. Yeah, facilities. PHO. And Nasmith. Let's go back to here. Yeah, this one right here. This is kind of an embedded but larger crater. Yeah, that's Facilities. And then to the left of that is Naismith. The left of that is Schickard. Schickard is a large one, I think. This one. Ohio gozaimasu. Tokyo. I can't read. Will ever see the moon, and you're still content with that fact. I gotta say, I'm pretty content right now, and honestly, like, this scope with even darker skies would be just ridiculous. So I think there's a lot to explore at this level of magnification, especially as cameras get better and conditions improve, or hopefully. But yeah, I foresee that if I don't collapse before I make enough money, I feel like I'm gonna get a 14-inch probably at some point, which is just remarkable. Can you imagine? This is on an 11, and what you can do is just pretty much infinite. So 14-inch would just take it to the next level. I think David has that astronomy live stream, has one of those, so we could see the level. SMS Blaug says, just a moon, why does the moon always seem like it's underwater? It does because our atmosphere is basically tons of water and thermal movements and wave fronts and pressure mediation. And yeah, so we're looking at the moon basically through a fishbowl, like a wall of water. You know, it could also be that the moon is electric and sending currents through the atmosphere, and therefore also disrupting and creating wave fronts and vibrations. And then you're also getting a telescope with humidity, atmospherics, urban environment. You're getting the camera, which is vibrating very slightly and converting data. You know, a lot of reasons. Hope y'all are back. It looks like it's green again. I don't know, OBS just disconnected by itself. It does this weird thing. I guess at like around 3 a.m. the internet turns on and off really quick. Some shit like that. I don't know. Or hacks. I call hacks. I'm just gonna record some footage while I talk. Look at this amazing, unbelievable shot. I was gonna say that, yeah, like within the limits of homebrew astronomy, I think you can get up to like a 14-inch or even a 17-inch Dobsonian in the range of $10,000 to $20,000, and that's just like, I feel like I could die happy with a 17-inch scope. But this stuff right now, this is still for me, you know, like 4 or 5 years in. This is kind of remarkable. Like I'm not over how great this shot is right here, and this is the wide shot still. Oh, SMS blog, you want to see the dark side? Let's do that. Tonight is finally a good night to see that. It's clear enough and it's waning enough. So, that's a very good portion of the dark side. It's 60% dark side or earth shine portion. Let's put on some, I don't sell my shots on Etsy Fantasy. I'm gonna work on all of that. I honestly did it like at least 3 hours of just sorting through files today, going back through all the old footage, cleaning up things, tagging things. It's so much work dealing with 4K files. That's why I laugh at like the pace of the technological like camera revolution, because I'm like, man, like it is going fast, but I think at some point we've hit this this blockage of dealing with the actual media. And 4K is still, I think, beyond most people, like dealing with it comfortably. Like editing a 4K clip, anything over 5 minutes, it takes you like all day, unless you have like a $10,000 workstation. And I actually have like one. I have one of those, and it still takes that long. So that's the deal there.
If you want life, don't click. Let go.
Easy E, what's going on? It's worth every penny, that's for sure. Like, I think so far I probably put in 20, 30K into the whole thing, like with all the different, I have like 4 different Sony cameras, or 5. I had a Canon 7D for a while. I have, let's see, I have the 11 scope, I have an 8-inch, a 6-inch, a 4, a refractor, and the 11 that we're using right now, and then a ton of lenses, like at least $2,000-3,000 worth of like magnifiers, Barlows, solar things, and then 4 mounts, and all the video capture cards, and Elgato, and the AVIO, and then the PCs, of course. I've gone through like 4 different PCs at this point. It's a ton of work to get it going, but like, look at this shot that we get. It's crazy. So there's a star to the right. It's not a star of note, but you can see this really killer Terminator feature that I kind of want to zoom in on to the right that we were looking at. That was right around Schiller crater. Let's see if we can't zoom in, because it's making an amazing protrusion. Whoa. Is that an airplane? Oh, I missed it. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, and feel free to keep me on track if I start talking about something you want me to finish talking about. Sometimes I drift off and like start messing with filters and the moon and other questions, so I'm happy to deep dive into other topics. Look at this, it's crazy. What is this? This is Cassatus. I want to say it's Cassatus. Cassatus or Kiaprof. The one protruding, but nearby. It looks really cool. And then the little string of light as it goes up. I mean, just crazy to get this kind of detail. What's happened, truth be told? Duplicate says T-minus 11 days to Chandrayaan 2 touchdown. So we'll see, like, you know, I've said it a bunch on the show. I keep looking at it every day, looking for new photos. So there's one photo of Earth and one photo of the dark side of the moon. The far side of the moon. And that's really it so far. And it really kind of bugs me that, not that they owe it to me, but that there's no like live stream of photos coming every single day. You'd think that with the technology today, where we have like these tiny memory cards. I was thinking about it. I was thinking, like, is my request or thought about it unreasonable? That like you'd think that these spacecraft that were going to deep space or to the moon or wherever would have like an incredible camera that was tiny and that could also record insane footage and then wipe its own memory card after it downloaded all that data. Like, yeah, the data would take a while, but you'd think like, I don't know, a dozen photos of the moon as you're going by, and then they download. That wouldn't take too long. It's just insane to me that that doesn't exist, and that no one asks for it either. Like, everybody in the ISRO comments are like, oh, congratulations, India's amazing, etc., etc. Nobody's saying like, hey, we're like a dozen photos from getting close to the moon. Like, just a really simple suggestion, question. I don't know, am I the one who's crazy? Not sure. So we'll see what happens when Chandrayaan 2 touches down, if they're gonna have like a series of photos that look realistic with stars in the background, or they're gonna have like, you know, the U2 Chinese Chang'e 3 rover photos where they're like 3 photos and most of them are just the rover looking at the lander and the lander looking at the rover, and then they're like, that's it. It's really just, or they have these photos and there's some new photos, but the findings end up not doing anything really except telling us what we already know about the moon. So I'm pretty cynical about it, I'll be honest, but I'm waiting to be proven wrong. I hope they send incredible photos that show the lunar surface, depending on where they land, but we'll see if that all happens. Of course, Cosmic Surfer, what's happening? Yep, can't land on a hologram, I know, but also the moon is real. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I got a lot of Zoomage to do tonight, and I'm not going to argue about it. Let's, 3:33 a.m., no numerology except positive vibes. We're going to run this track back from the top. Magic with numbers. And let's zoom in here on Mare Humorum, Kepler, and Aristarchus. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful skies tonight, cause definitely after 10 days of incredible storms and lightning that this past week has been really giving. More new jams coming up right here at Kepler Crater with its incredibly awesome tendril-like rays coming out, dendritic filamentary structures. Let's cruise over a little bit, check out Aristarchus quickly. That's when you bounce a track for one extra measure and you're noodling at the end. Alright, Aristarchus looking amazing. Really great relief on Schroeder's Valley, like the forked tongue, like an electrical signature. That's what it is, an electrical signature. Herodotus and Aristarchus crater, like we're looking at it from above with a slight orthographic warp. Remember, this is still the wide shot with the focal reducer, so we're going to get even better in a second. Or closer, rather. Yo, what's happening? Cyclic Visuals. Welcome, welcome. simple proof of electric discharge machining is what I wrote, but it really is. It's one of these things that impact can't be proven so selective to create such a artistic feature, but you can trust electricity to do so. Forms of crystals and lattices and filaments. So Schroeder's Valley in the middle of Aristarchus Plateau, Aristarchus Plateau itself being diamond or rectangular shaped, the placement of Aristarchus crater, the brightness of it, electrostatic nature of it. You know, we complain a lot, or I complain a lot, or many other people also complain a lot that NASA and these people lie and, you know, are deceitful, but they do actually recognize that the moon is electrostatic. They talk about it all the time. They talk about electric craters, and they do have videos on plasma cosmology from their own vantage point. And I wanted to just reference that because it is one of these things where a paradigm shift can happen, but it really is about understanding what we're really asking for. And so if NASA is working with plasma in a way, but then you have theoretical scientists who are not working with plasma or obfuscating it for certain reasons, then you have a massive disconnect. And if you don't really understand how to approach that, then we can't really ask for change. All we can do is complain. So I think it's really interesting to be able to really understand the phenomenon, understand what the evidence is as we know it. And it's still really misunderstood and early in the state of understanding our moon. But what's crazy is that our moon looks like the solar system. All these things look like stars and galaxies and clusters and geometry that we find on Earth, stratification, liquefaction, bubbles, you know, packing, circle packing, ejecta, sputter, all these different incredible phenomena that we're very accustomed to occur on planetary bodies. And I think making that connection is really important. Moving up here near Sinus Iridum, I'm feeling like, you know, what a shame we have, you know, if there's a Chinese rover going around not taking photos of this region, like hundreds of photos of this region, trying to map it in more detail. And yet, this seems like way more of an exciting shot than anything that we get back from these rover missions, which is, I don't want to say it's sad because it's awesome that we can get these shots from home, but like, it's kind of strange, I gotta say. High strangeness. Oh, hell yeah, Starlight. I wrote some pretty dope lyrics today, but they're not done, and so I didn't bounce the track anew. I shall, though. I feel like it's screaming for a vocal track. Yo, what up, somebody somewhere? Yeah, we got a packed room tonight, or this morning, 3:47 a.m. on the clock. I got energy, I got smokes. We got Sinus Iridum, and I think maybe it's time to, you know, I'm gonna take a little bit more footage before I change up the lens, just to get this level of magnification, because look at that sharpness. That is a rare beauty. The rarest. And then we'll go through a few more reasons that the moon is electrical. Another one being that small craters appear on the rims of larger craters. And this is the electrical arc moving across the surface and finding the high ground, as Duplicat mentions in one of the Thunderbolts comments. But it's so true. This is how it works. If you see the lab discharge experiments, that's what is left behind. And then further than that, electricity grows outwards, and therefore that's how you get these hexagonal shapes. That's why bees make their honeycomb patterns like that, because they're very strong forms. And really the true essence of the universe seems to be geometric. And so math piggybacks on that, but geometry must be at the root of it all. Seems. I kept getting lost. I want to adjust this contrast. There we go. Duplicate says, I wouldn't say NASA lies, they just have their own interpretation of cosmology and astrophysics. You know, there is a bit of it like, arcing and electric discharge can create all sorts of cellular patterns and formations. It really depends, because what's happening is that electrical discharge is interacting with magnetic and electrical hotspots on whatever surface. So you're having like, basically what the visual is that the moon and Mars come within 1 million miles of each other. And at the point that we're talking about 7,000 to 10,000 years ago, Mars was volatile and the moon was volatile. And what happens is probably planets grow, moons grow, Earth grows, maybe Mars grew, or maybe Mars came closer via its orbit. And once it interacted with the moon, it created this kind of anode-cathode situation, and a small, as they swung by each other in different orbits, you'd create this kind of series of electrical exchanges through powerful Birkeland currents, so basically lightning bolts times 10,000. And for 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, a day, a week, and you're going to get all sorts of different features. You're going to get strings of craters, you're going to get boiling, you're going to get cracking, you're going to get bullseye craters, you're going to get high peaks, you're going to get sputtering, all the way down depending on how the moon was turning, whatever angular momentum the moon had, and or Mars, and or Earth, and or whatever body interacted with the moon. And it really makes so much more sense than the moon getting impacted with sheets and sheets of asteroids and comets, but then not a single reason, rational scientific reason, that you have perfect geometry on the moon. There are all these stories about perfect circles, but there are really not any perfect circles on the moon. Actually, they're all pretty much octagonal hexagons or dodecahedrons. Almost zero circular craters. I mean, ellipses, sure. Truth be told, how does an arc conduct across space? Because space in and of itself is not empty, it's very conductive. It's sheets and layers of plasma that are all electrically charged differently, and space is also quantized, and redshift and light are also likely quantized. So quantized just means it moves up in steps and not linearly. You can look at Halton Arp's work of seeing red and redshift and that whole kind of paradigm of how the cosmic background radiation experiments were really, like, if you look up all the debate around that, you'll see that space is truly electrical in nature, and we can measure it. And so the other thing is that depending on where you are in space, it's highly charged. It's more charged than, let's say, where we are now. So, and third, the universe wants to kind of fall into a stable orbit. So maybe it was volatile because something came through, like a comet or like the sun, or maybe there was an explosion at one point which caused a massive discharge nearby that moved everything into volatile orbits for a while, or the polar configuration, and then now it moved into a more stable orbit. You know, a lot of people think it's going back towards something. That's crazy. But it does conduct across space because planetary bodies have electrical charge. And it's been proven by even the powers that control popular science. It's not like the Thunderbolts project is talking about anything that is not proven. They're talking about stuff that is proven or talked about, but that is not, for some reason, replacing these antiquated methodologies of relying entirely, heavily on Einstein, on relativity, and mathematics, really, and developing new ad hoc theorems when you already have answers to a lot of things. Now that's where it becomes, a lot of people think they're not lying about it. Some people think, or lying, that's not maybe the right word, but intentionally obfuscating this information. And some people think it's just a paradigm shift that takes a while and that somehow it will change. I'm kind of on both sides of that. I think there's a bit of both. I think trickle-down technology is one of those things that definitely exists. Therefore, if you allowed the plasma paradigm to really exist in its true form, then you'd have an equalizer in terms of technology, and that would not serve some of the private powers. So it would make sense to intentionally obfuscate it. Not that I don't agree with that, but that's how it goes. Alright, I'm going to switch up the lens. It looks so good, but the night's coming along, and then we'll do a wide shot again after with M42. Alright, this is cam to scope. Switched it up, so I'm gonna have a smoke, cam to smoke, and play some repeat parties up in here, and capture some raw footage. A little bit of raw footage. Oh man, they screwed up my ankles too, Starlight. The other night was awful. It feels like I'm good tonight, but I dare not say the words. That's why I left the spiders in the corner of my room. I'm like, I always leave the spiders in the corner of my room, but there's a huge nest of spiders. I'm like, take them down. Take down all these mosquitoes. Using nature to fight nature. Sin wild, called television. Gonna get the wall, it's photon. Get it, good, get it, good, get it, good, get it, good, get it. Data highlights, the night is on. Find its way until the hot dog's done. It's fine, figure wine until the time, until the twilight are gone. You're well said, you're well said. Fight fool, it's just real love and cool chicks. Do not mind, plug it into Wednesday moments. Gonna fail, real wild, till well said, why real, why still well, till I come this here. Get it good, get it, get it, get it, get it good, get it good, get it good, get it good, get it. Yo, what's up everybody? What's up there, Mary and Corey and Paula and Genius? Morning to all y'all. Man, it is a good night for scoping. It's a good night to hang out with the space family. Hope y'all are doing well. Just kicking it right here. Been going for like an hour and a half even. We're gonna get some Nebula too, some M42, and just incredibly good shots lately of the moon, if I may say so. Feeling pretty great about it. Can't complain. So this is Cam, direct to scope, got rid of focal reducer and Sinus Iridum, Bay of Rainbows looking amazing, and Mari Imbrium right next to it. You can kind of see all the amazing filamentary layering. Not enough adjectives, honestly, to describe the moon. Daniel Justin, dude, go far left to the biggest crater in the center. You mean to Aristarchus? Copernicus is right under shadow. And we got Kepler, Aristarchus. Always happy to go to Aristarchus. You can see the discrepancy in brightness. It requires a lot of brightness to go to see the details near the terminator. And if I do that, the left side gets washed out a bunch. Now I still got a good, I think another 30 minutes at least, Core. Morning, Paula. Nice, the sky's clearing up, starlight, that's great. That's great. So I'm just capturing some raw wide shots or wide footage for a sec because it's rare to get this, and I want to really work on this moon documentary. Look at this amazing filamentary structure between Kepler and Gassendi. This is north of Mare Humorum. Daniel, give me a name of a crater, man. I think it'll be easier. Up left is everywhere. I mean, I'm gonna hit all the major features anyway, so just let me know if you have a name for me. Oh no, not a new scope, Mary. This is the 11. It's just looking pretty great tonight with the skies, and I recently cleaned up all the glass, so I wiped down the front of the scope and the mirror. Daniel Justin, I think you left me a note on the video, but I didn't notice what you were talking about. It could have been just like maybe I missed a crater or a flyby that I didn't notice. Starlight, I inspire you. That's so super awesome. I'm always happy to kick that into gear for everybody, because for me it was such a big change to get a scope and to kind of level up on that. So I appreciate you saying that, and I'm happy to. Z Proxy, what's happening, bro? Far left and up near the dayline. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, man. Near the dayline, so like the edge. So here's up and left, and I'm gonna put the red rectangle on screen, and let me know where to. If I move the red reticle up or down. And I'm gonna take a quick puff while that happens. Fantasy says, have I seen the north and south ray craters? I'm not sure which ones those are, man. Maybe, if you have names for me, sometimes it's easier. Like, I kind of go through all of these. I have a reference point, but I'm not sure about the north and south ray craters necessarily, unless that's what they're called. Daniel says, something I saw in the crater, it's far left, almost at the daybreak at the horizon. I know what you're talking about, but it's just the central peak that was interesting. Let's go to it. I know what you're talking about, Anaxagoras or Pythagoras. So this is Pythagoras and Anaxagoras region above Mare Frigoris. And I think this is what I had where you left the comment. But this is the same crater, but I think Pythagoras is now more in shadow than it was yesterday. Yeah, this is the first one. Oh, Fantasy says ray craters are in the Descartes Highlands. Is that Messier A and B? Or no, it's different. I'll have to look that up. Oh, hell yeah, Starlight. I can't wait to get an M42 shot with this type of clarity. Daniel, let me know if that's what you're looking at, if you're looking for. But I'm going to keep moving through because there's a lot to see. I'll come back to this if this is right. this is what you're talking about, right? It's just a really cool looking central peak. I know it looks like it's got like a little bit, half of it's in darkness and half of it is that bright white, but now I remember this is what you're talking about. Oh, thanks Corey, I appreciate that. Lots more to come. I'm writing every day. I got a brand new one that's gonna rock y'all pretty hard, but I really want to work on it a bit more. Isn't this the one, Daniel? It seems like this is the one. Yeah, I know. Let me find you a name for that. I think I know what it is, but let me just double check. Yeah, that's Pythagoras. Pretty large crater. It is 129 kilometers in diameter and 14,000 feet tall on the rim. Massive feature, of course, named after Pythagoras. Everything seems Pythagorean, to be honest. When you listen to Eric Dollard, he says that, and I tend to think like we have such few reference points of early geometric history. Oh hell yeah, Corey, I think because I made it so that if you ordered everything, you could get the rest of the tracks or something like that, or you're subscribed. Either way, awesome. So glad you're able to do that. Damn, it's already 4:15 a.m. Love it. Yeah, seriously, so many cities could fit in these craters. Oh, Mary, something woke me up and it dawned on me it was you. That's really sweet. I'll play your song after this.
January man, don't you know? Your life is worth more than what would you have me do? Look, it's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's January man, don't you know? Your life is worth more than catch you if you fall, catch you if you're low. The look goes high and up as fast as you can go. Catch you if you fall, catch you if you
So I'm going to kick things into gear here. I realize that I'm just going real slow, and oh man, I haven't played this one in a while, but no, I'm not closing the show just yet. But I see that M42 is up, and it's pretty high up there, so I feel like I want to take advantage of that. Even though the moon looks amazing, I feel like I'll get back to the moon, but we should take a quick shot of M42. What do y'all think? And while you're thinking, I'm going to set up this new track. This one's always a good one.
How can I desire not to desire? How can I surrender myself when myself is precisely an urge to hold on, to cling to life, to continue to survive? I may be like a person who has a bad habit, as a result of which he is committing suicide. He knows that, but can't give it up, because the means of death are so sweet. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. People undergoing shock, people locked in the colorless, monotonous corridors of mental institutions. If you want life, don't think. Is that if you are
All right, y'all. Also, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for picking up the tunes and supporting me via the Bandcamp and buying some albums. I really appreciate it. I'm going to just drop the link in one more time. Thanks for the reminder. That's pretty funny. That's the correct link. TakeBackSpace. TakeBackSpace. Yeah, so we got M42 looking unbelievable. I'm going to take a still shot, and it's going to be even crazier than what you're looking at, but this is live nebula, no stacking necessary, and it's just astounding every time. Right at the center, the quadrant, it's called the trapezium cluster, and this is generally called Hatsia. It's the M42 Orion, Great Orion Nebula, the birthplace of stars. but all right, so let's take a still cap of this, and I'll show you how we can do a little bit better than this video. But still, there's nothing like taking video of actual nebular clouds. That's just crazy. Talk about plasma and evidence. It's right here. I'm like, what's holding all this in position? Why do these jets look like steam and clouds? Think electric currents, electric filaments, structure, organized, deep-rooted electrogravitics and magnetics. All right, so I'm gonna take a still here about like maybe a 2-second exposure. Actually, let's start with a 1-second exposure. Even though the ISO should be much lower because of the grain, I'm gonna bring it down to like 12,000. It's not real proper, but check it out. Yeah, that's nuts. So typically you want to take like longer exposures with much less ISO, like the ISO should be at like 1600. But if I did that, you'll see like a 1-second exposure is not really enough to get like a little nebula cloud. I'll show you what a 10-second exposure looks like at 1600. The problem here is my tracking is just regular tracking. Normally you do a polar alignment and a 2-3 star track, and then you refine it, and you'd have like PhD tracking going on the side, so a little camera doing its own side tracking. But this is 10 seconds. You can certainly smell it, Corey. The water smells so funky right now. Damn, that actually came out much better than I thought. So 10 seconds wasn't too bad. But I bring it to 5 seconds. Basically, you just get smearing of stars because it drifts a bit. But there we go. That's a pretty good shot. So I'm going to pull that up, and let's zoom into the nebular cloud. That's kind of the best I'm going to get right now with live stacking. I'm just doing some filters and sharpening. But yeah, that should give you a good idea of what a nebula looks like up close. I know some of y'all have seen this before, but every time it's just amazing that this structure is like, think about how big it is. I mean, and how little of it we actually see without taking these pictures. I mean, it looks like little, like ether ghosts just hanging out, watching us. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy. All right, let's get back to the live shot here, and I'll take a couple more stills. Let's see what we can get with just blasting out the settings. Yeah, see, that's more like the kind of light you need to get the larger nebula. It's crazy. It goes all the way around to the right, and then to the left even has the even curlicue into the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula. It's the Horsehead Nebula, right? Near it. But yeah, let's record a bit more footage and then get back to the moon before she disappears. So, yeah, just like a few more minutes here. It's almost 5 in the morning, y'all. Hey, Rebecca, what's going on? It's a bit north of Miami. It's like 4 hours, 5 hours north of Miami. Thanks for all the sweet comments, everybody. I appreciate sharing this view and playing these tunes and writing these tunes. Man, so much to show tonight. It's just a blessing to get these skies. This view of Sinus Iridum is probably top 5 even, not even top 10, probably top 5 for me. It's so rare to get this kind of detail. It's remarkable. Clear skies and good atmospherics is just a wonder. And to have the 11 set up correctly. I'd like to get back to M42, but just gonna stick here for a second, get some of this raw data. It is south of Jacksonville, pretty far. Also, what's up, Mark Rowe? Are you going to Cozumel? That's awesome. Out of Tampa, that's amazing. Yeah, typically you have to go further south to the Key West or Miami, but I think you can go from Tampa. I haven't done any of the kind of scouting at all. I'm such a recluse in a way. Once I got the scope set up, I became a complete homebody. It was like almost bad before. Now it's like impossible. I don't go out, don't do anything. I'm always watching. And if not, I'm sorting through files or like researching something or catching up on some sleep. Always catching up on sleep. Today I'm lucky I took a nap, which I never do. I was like, man, I'm gonna take a nap just in case I stay up tonight. And I got through this tonight with some good energy. It's like 2 hours? Oh, more than 2 hours. 2:11, crazy. Just go a little bit longer and just get this insane Sinus Iridum shot. The reverberations underneath Mare Imbrium. Let's get in deep for a second with Aristarchus. feel like I've been talking about Aristarchus so much, but it's so incredible. Again, also probably a top 10 shot of Aristarchus. Angle plus clarity plus steadiness. You can see really like the shape of Aristarchus. Certainly not perfectly not circular perfectly. Perfectly not a perfect circle. Sharp edges, maybe octagonal, dodecahedral. Underneath it, Herodotus, you can see even a tiny little crater sputter on the edge of Herodotus. And then Schroeder's Valley is just as prominent as you want it to be. I think really tonight and tomorrow are the best times to see this feature. The snake, the little cobra. Where like, honestly, with lesser magnification, you could mistake the fact that Schroeder's Valley is connected somehow to Herodotus and Aristarchus, but it really looks like it's kind of its own thing. Or maybe it was on its way to, the electric arc was moving towards creating Aristarchus and left this initial gash of Schroeder's Valley. Let me know what you think of this particular shot. I know my regulars have seen Aristarchus a lot, but certainly a pretty unique vision and view tonight. Thanks, Corey. It's all good. I think I'm good for tonight. I'm going to focus on the scoping so I can get you all some views. More tracks to come, and then I'll play them. I think I've played all the new ones that I want to play. This is roughly new, but I haven't posted this one because it's just like a jam. But maybe this one I'll post. No, actually, this is one from the Bandcamp. This is called Newt. And why not? I'll take your advice. Let's special. Go download and listen to this track that I got in the background for yourselves while I continue to scoot around the moon. Sputter marks and discharge all over. That sounds nasty, but it's just plasma. Let's head over to Kepler. Also, incredible shot of Kepler right here. Pareidolia alert. So I'm noticing here this looks like a bull of some sort chasing a little bubble. You can see centered on your screen the antlers or the horns and the mouth and the eyeball under the horn. some sort of creature, at least, dodging something or playing something. And coming out almost from the mouth are like these tendrils. Look at these tendrils. Holy crap. I mean, I've noticed them before, but now they're just popping. Look how many filamentary currents, like groupings. And at the end, there's this other branching filamentary current. Duplicate, what do you think? It's just nuts right over here. This is, where is this? Right, this is to the right of Kepler. It's like a unicorn bull, a bullicorn, a bulicorn. There's bulicorn. Oh, starlight. Sorry, you're getting clouds. I know how that is. I know how that is, so... All I can say is I'm empathetic, and I'm feeling lucky that I got some clear skies tonight, so sending you some clear skies vibes. Right here, got Gassendi Crater. Just all over, great versions and great views of all the main features. So you can see the little chipped wall, you can see the sinuous rails, little threads across the flat flooredness and the tricentral peaks. Even the central peaks, when you see them in broken formations, have a bit of a Fibonacci spiral to them. And so Gassendi A is the crater on the rim of Gassendi, and then this whole region, this is Mare Humorum, which in and of itself is basically like a large so-called crater, but really, like, what is it, you know? Is it just baked out from a giant discharge, or did it cool, or is it in water? There's so many different ideas, you know? I do talk about electric discharge, but who knows, maybe there's something else that we don't know about that happened. Sounds good, Corey. It's crazy. I've only been in a kayak once before, but that must be just an intense thing. I know a few people who are into that sort of thing. It's just a wild adventure. Yeah, there'll be a penumbral eclipse, 1/10/2020. The next big thing really is the Mercury transit in November, so November 11th. That's going to be an interesting day. Lots of people are going to be trying for it, but it'll be crazy. That'll be my second Mercury transit, because it happened back in 2016. Very strange that it happened so close together. It's not going to happen for another 15 years or something like that. What's up, Les Brooklyn? How you doing? Morning. Sharp as you want to be right here. Look, like the raptor claw. And I got mosquitoes literally dive bombing me. Get out of my face. It's crazy. I keep thinking we're going to lose the view, and it keeps looking amazing. So I'm just going to stay on this sharp, sharp view of Sinus Iridum. You can see very clearly the bottom of the hexagon. Can't believe I didn't notice it before, but now I do. And the top of Sinus Iridum just floating into the darkness. Yeah, total mad cookie monster. What up, Jen Perry? mini Sinus Iridum with another little crater on the rim. A lot of these looks like Arcadia and plazas. Tons of dendritic structures and filaments, like clusters of lightning bolts. It's remarkable what you can see when you're looking for the right thing. Imagine how many people have looked at the same moon and thought, oh, these are all impact craters, and that's it, and never had another thought about it. I do want to keep filming, but I am getting toasty. One of my eyes has already declared war. This has lyrics. I guess this has lyrics. Alright, I'm gonna shut up and keep rocking here for a few more minutes, but I'm winding down, everybody. Okay. I don't know what was wrong with that, but that just skipped. Anyway. Gassendi crater. One last view of the cool feature tonight. This is rare to get this so nice and sharp. You see the trifecta of central peaks. You see of sinuous rill to the right. And talking science when you're fading. And the chipped wall at the bottom. That's what I was looking for. And Gassendi A on the rim, like a ring, or like a potato. This is of course on the larger Mare Humorum. Alright, I think that's it. I'm going to switch back to the wide shot of the moon, get one last glimpse of M42, and I shall call it. great one. See you soon. If you want to stick around, I'm going to do one more shot of M42 and then I'm going to crash myself. So 5 more minutes. It's 5:28, I guess. Yeah, a few more minutes and call it. The moon is fading, so am I. It's been an unbelievable night. So great, so blessed. Check out the description of the video. I'll quickly go through and shout out the EU channels: Thunderbolts Project, Suspicious Observers, Electric Universe, Eyes See the Pattern, Kronos, Greg J, Dissident Science with David D. Hilster, Sky Scholar, Halton Art, Velikovsky, The Works. Just keep saying it and something will happen. I think repetition makes it real. Repetition makes it real. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, that's it. Halton Art. So crazy. So let's scoot on over if I can still glimpse M42. Okay, actually, it was answered by my window, so no more M42. It's already out of view for me. So let's just let this moon drift and let this song finish. And at the end, we shall call it. So thanks, Jen. Thanks, Corey, so much. Duplicat. Keep it electric and keep pushing those awesome comments and spreading the word and the love and the kindness. Mark Rowe, Star at Spectrum, Rebecca, Mary, who else we got? Scrolling up all the way. Lots of comments. I know 24/7 was here. I know there were a lot of people. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day tomorrow. I'm not so sure I'm going to stay up tomorrow night because I think I probably need the rest. I might, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm addicted. But maybe if I don't, then it'll be some planetary stream soon. Take care, everybody. Good night.